Hey traders, checking into the stock market today. Weakness pre-market leading to significant dip buying all day today. We're continuing to see rotation out of certain sectors and places and into others. I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'm focusing on a sector I have not looked at in a while, and we'll see where we stand. So the S&P 500, we can see over the weekend, the holiday weekend, hope you had a good one, we had a rising wedge that broke bear, and that led to significant weakness all morning. This was 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So a big drop down heading into the open. And so we had hourly oversold. We had 15-minute RSI pretty beat up. So knew that we weren't going to be looking bearish at the open, but I was going to be looking bearish for hourly lower highs on the bounce. And I'll explain how that played out in just a bit. It didn't go well. Just stopped out on my one and only attempt. But clearly bulls bought the dip significantly with this V-shaped bounce. And we now have a triple bottom of support, which is the line in the sand. You can see this triple bottom here. That is the most important support level for me for this week. If that level holds, we're going to have a bullish week. If that level breaks, bears take back over complete control. It's that simple. So we started very weak today, and it was Apple standing out a bit stronger. And then we were looking around saying, okay, which sector is going to try and stand out as a lead bull? Apple hit a new high of the day. QQQ led the way on the bounce, and then it became clear after a bit of shuffling around on the morning. It's QQQ that's going to have to take the lead bull status. And no other sector was helping the Nasdaq bulls out. And then that shifted later in the morning. And really, the significant strength kicked off the second half of the day, where you can see the first half we were puttering around. Yes, we got the bull break, significant pullback here, lots of space for potential lower highs, but bulls then just kept complete control from that point forward. And on the Nasdaq futures chart, we've got the same support, triple bottom. That is the level. If it holds, it's a bullish week. If not, bears take back over. But look who's leading the bounce. The Nasdaq is up to the highest level that we've seen, looking in at QQQ. We can see the QQQ bulls broke the high of Friday, Thursday, and Wednesday. We're shaping up a trend change attempt. So if we can break 296.58, it would be a very notable win for the bulls. That's still $9 away, so 3%. Hourly has to confirm the trend change to the bulls still as well. We broke the low of Friday by 28 cents. Have to see the higher low and higher high to continue to put pressure on short-term bears and to continue to show bulls buying the dip and confidence. So if we look at our QQQ divided by SPY chart, and again, we need to see the Nasdaq leading bull moves if we're going to have confidence in those bull moves. Today is the most bullish day. As far as correlations are concerned, today was just exciting because of how significant moves were today. This is one example. QQQ today saw its most bullish day comparative to the S&P 500. I guess you could say comparably back here, it was very similar, which led to multiple days of bounce back at the end of May. But it's one of the most bullish that we've seen in the last 3 months. So it's absolutely getting our attention, and we have to see the bulls break to the highest relative strength level that we've seen in the last 2 months. So I'm watching that very closely. Today, growth stood out notably, and we'll get there in just a moment. I guess we'll go over my short trade. The one short trade that I did attempt to make was looking for an hourly lower high, watching hourly EMA 12 resistance, and my entry was good in the sense that it gave me a lot of wiggle room to work with. I was watching this 5-minute bull flag, and I said if this 5-minute bull flag fails, I'm going to be looking to short. And so I did. I entered SPXS, exited a third on this pullback. And because I exited a third, it made me very comfortable in that position. And I then watched for a rising wedge. And then the bulls broke the rising wedge bull. And I eventually stopped out with certainly an acceptable loss. That partial sell meant the difference in everything because it would have been a decent loss if I had not sold that third of a position. So that was the bear attempt that I made. I made a couple bull trades today as well that we'll get to. But pretty much one bear attempt and then just let the bulls have at it once it was clear that they were going to keep buying that dip. So semiconductors started the morning extremely weak with a gap down open, one of our weakest sectors over the last week of trading, but a solid buy the dip day. Have to confirm the hourly trend change tomorrow. If we do, anything under 218.81 is just a daily lower high. We can bounce 10% and be in a daily downtrend. So bears are watching names that have a resistance level overhead far enough away. Pretty much, I'm scouting names like Energy and SMH for bearish entries on daily lower highs, and I'm scouting bullish entries on our lead bulls. That's the way I've been trading for the last month, is just looking bullish on names like Biotech sector with bull strength, looking bearish on names like Energy that are showing us relative weakness, and I will continue to do that, but I'm going to let the bulls get their bounce. So I'm watching, can the bulls confirm an hourly uptrend? If they do, I'm going to keep an eye out for a daily lower high to be the result of that bounce once the hourly uptrend is then lost. Tesla, 2-day equilibriums. So Tesla's 2-day higher low is set. We've been watching this for a while now, and it's all about new support 648 and resistance of 756. So we're about $50 above support, and we're pretty much the middle of this range. And when this breaks, Tesla is going to see a volatility spike. And I would anticipate that if it doesn't break this week, it's going to break early next week. We only have 3 more trading days this week, so it is possible we remain range bound. Look at Google. Google's doing the same thing. 2-day higher low set, tightening range that has been tightening up for 6 weeks. Amazon, same thing. 2-day tightening range, resistance coming into play. If these names break bull, it's a big vote of confidence for continued market bounce. Today pretty much has me saying, all right, bulls, I'm paying extra close attention because of all this rotation that's going on. And again, it's growth. It's growth leading the way on this bounce. And if all these major players, which have significant impact on our major ETFs, if they break bull, it's going to be real notable. And they're not going to all break bull at the same time. Amazon may break bull first. It's closer to its resistance level than Tesla currently is. So watching them all very close. Healthcare. So my lead bull list it has been NIO, Biotech, Healthcare, Baba, and Baidu. And today I was very close to taking NIO and XLV off that list because they broke. They saw the daily higher low set. They failed resistance and they broke support. But bulls obviously bought that dip very significantly, keeping EMA 12 support and keeping this consolidation very healthy. So healthcare confirmed a lower high and lower low with 0 follow through, which does still keep a potential bull flag alive. Same thing though, we need the hourly trend change back to the bulls. Hard drop, V-shaped bounce. So hourly higher low and higher high needed, and a break of 130.59 is needed. But good save by the bulls. And NIO, same deal. Lower high and lower low, but we bounced 7% plus from the low of today, 9%. Bulls bought that dip very aggressively. Tons of space for hourly higher lows. Bulls that saw today and weren't aggressive enough or missed their entry opportunity are saying, all right, well, next hourly consolidation, I'm looking for an entry. And there's a lot of names that have a ton of space for an hourly higher low to be the result of the next pullback. And we'll be watching the retracement size to see if it's a bull flag or not, depending on how we open tomorrow. But NIO is keeping this consolidation healthy. Mentioned Baba and Baidu. Right off EMA 12, testing resistance. Both Baba and Baidu have long-term resistances in play. And as I've been saying over the last couple of weeks in these videos, these names are positioned well for bulls if the broader market can find a bottom. So bulls defended support in the broader market today. Names that were positioned well for the bulls benefited. And now it's just a question of bulls played defense today. Can they go on offense? Can they break the high of last week to see notable bounce follow through? And it's got to be QQQ leading, as they did today. Have to keep that up. XLF held the low of last week. Not really much going on here. XLF isn't really showing me one thing, showing me anything one way or the other. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, but In my opinion, it will be QQQ leading and then perhaps XLF following, but XLV and QQQ clearly stronger for bulls than XLF. So the question will be, can our weaker major sector play some catch up? IWM held the low of last week, 166.76, double bottom at that level, strong close. Can the bulls break 178.15 for that trend change and follow through? Hourly higher low needed and the hourly trend change needed. Again, just a V-shaped bounce. Tons of names need that hourly trend change. Let's see how aggressively bulls buy the next hourly consolidation that we see. Biotech sector, absolutely putting on a show. We're having a chart guys stock pick for July where everybody puts their lead bull, lead bear, and I chose long LABU for July and short my bear was SCO, the leveraged oil bear. And so far, it's been a really good start, but it's a long month to go. Biotech bulls, we know they've been standing out. Again, at this point, we're 27% off the low. More than that, probably 30% off the low. I think the bottom's in for the biotech sector for a while. Even if the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq drop 10% from here, I think the biotech sector has a lot of cushion to work with. Daily bull flag confirmed, perfect bounce off EMA 12, monthly bounce underway. Remember in the video when we were looking at NIO's monthly bounce and saying the biotech sector is looking at this monthly chart and saying, I hope we do that too. Well, now we're doing it. Monthly inside bar bull break. Very notable shift. Again, the sectors that have been dropping for 16, 18 months are bouncing and leading the bounce, while the sectors, energy, that have been going up for 16, 18 months are selling off into monthly consolidation. So biotech sector, tons of space for an hourly higher low. It'll be on back burner watch. Traded it in both directions today. I traded this 5-minute stair step bearish. It had nice follow through. Look at the beauty of this equilibrium. You look at that move on the morning and say, oh man, I missed it. Nothing I can do. Well, you can scout a nice setup and a beautiful equilibrium that held support, broke bull, and from that bull break of 78.11, we then went another 3.6%. That's 10% on the leveraged ETF. So after missing the morning bull move, there was another opportunity for a 10% trade. I was trading in both directions, didn't hold my LABU bull position from this break long enough, but definitely it's been a good month trading the biotech sector in both directions. I definitely favor the bulls in when I am trading it. And we'll be watching for 5-minute oversold conditions. We're going to be watching for an hourly higher low. Question now is how far can bulls take it, hitting the highest levels that we've seen in 2 months. 97 and 99 is the next major resistance zone. Increasing bull volume each of the past few days. Very impressive. Look at our other growth names. ARKK. ARK is trying to follow the leader. 46.94 breaking would be the highest level in 2 months. It's trying to shape it up. Look at these correlation charts. XBI divided by SPY. Breakout. Strong. ARKK divided by SPY. Most bullish correlation day. Again, mid-May. We saw a decent candle that led to bounce, but this is one of the most notable days in months as far as relative strength of growth names versus the broader market. CRWD has been a growth name that, again, it's 50% off of its low, a little bit less, 45% off of its low, testing the high of its bounce. Growth is leading the bounce very clearly. TAN, the solar sector, its bottom was put in a couple months ago. Tightening daily range. Watching to see, essentially I need to see ARK and I need to see all these other growth names that are trying to shape up this bull move but haven't done so yet. They need to follow through. I personally entered MSOS today. MSOS, USMJ. Why did I do that? It's been nothing but bears. So enter today in the 1050s, reason being recognizing growth strength. Look at MSOS divided by SPY. This is the most bullish day in over 3 weeks for the sector comparative to the broader market. And we had a double bottom at its all-time low, 10.08 and 10.11. So that was enough for me to say, all right, I'll give it a chance. Buy in at 10, I forget what it was, maybe 10.55. Stop if $10 breaks. And already my reward has exceeded the potential risk. If I had a larger position size, there was a moment where I almost went twice the position size to sell some into strength. I didn't end up pulling the trigger on that large size. If I did, I would have been out half and risk-free on this trade. If I'm in at 10.55 and I sell half at 11.05, I stop $10, risk-free, can't lose. But didn't do that, so I got swing position on. I'll give the bulls a chance. Need to form the hourly high or low, need to see continuation, and what I really need to see is a bull break of 11.72 to break the daily lower high pattern that has been intact for a month plus. Volume standing out, need to keep that volume up. That bull volume need another day just as strong. One day doesn't mean anything. One day gets our attention. It's the follow through that is needed. Biotech sector has seen plenty of follow through. We've got to see other growth names do the same. We've got to see QQQ continue to lead for the bulls over the S&P 500. The VIX has not set a weekly high or low yet. We're watching this tightening range. It would need to break bear if it's going to be a tally in the bull column, it's got to break bear. And by bull column, I mean broader market bulls, crypto bulls. We're going to be watching crypto as well. I just did a live stream for crypto, but Bitcoin's got a 2-day equilibrium. So we're watching to see if it can break to the highest level that it's seen in a month. The dollar is extremely strong. That's another thing that stood out today. All this dip buying and all this strength is with the dollar having the strongest day that it's had in weeks, which is surprising. Hourly consolidation, very healthy. Dollar hitting the highest level in 20 years. What did the 10-year do? Still weak. Weekly head and shoulders potentially on the table. 270 is support test. So we can look at this and say, well, if the dollar were to see any weakness, that would only help the broader market bulls. But I'm keeping it simple and saying as long as the daily higher lows intact, the dollar bulls are in complete control. So for the month of July, I am focusing on growth names very closely. I do believe that we will see bottoms set in growth names before the broader market. And I do believe that they will lead the bounce. I mean, all this is already happening, and we've been watching for it the last few weeks. It's just a question of for how long. When does the biotech sector set a monthly lower high? Because it's anything under 97.19, which is still over 20% away. When does ARKK set a monthly lower high? First off, can it break the inside bar bull as a laggard to the biotech sector? Stair-step pattern, lower high every month, 7 months in a row. It's shifting its momentum and testing resistance. But again, the question will be, if this inside bar breaks bull, do we top out at 58? Or do we top out at 70? So we're going to have to use the daily time frame for clues. But watching growth closely. And a lot of this rally is shorts covering, because shorts had huge wins in these names and they're taking some profit. It's obviously bulls looking to play some bounces, but in my opinion, a lot of it is shorts unwinding as well. With the dollar strength, the metals are all bears. Call it like it is. We're in downtrends on all these time frames. The bulls are not proving a thing, and money's going elsewhere. Money is not interested in the metals right now. The inflation narrative failed. Be as on. You can be long metals, you can want them to go up, but you got to be honest. The inflation narrative failed for the metals. The metals are at the lowest levels that they've seen in 2022. And we're in a downtrend on all major time frames that matter, and it's not close to changing. So next time we bounce, we're just going to watch for lower highs. Gold can bounce multiple percent and just look for a 4-hour lower high. Silver, just as weak. Miners are still weak. They'll have their turn eventually, but it's not time for their turn. So let the trends and the price action be our guide. And growth names have been building bases of support for months. This downtrend is supply of shares outweighing demand. The leveling out is the scales finding a balance. And now the question is, biotech sector already did it. Can the other names have demand outweigh supply? And ARC needs to get over 46.94. And if it does over the next few days, I'm going to come on here and say that makes me more confident in growth leading the way. Oil rolling over. So tightening range, bear break, and huge dump. Energy led the way down. The energy sector sold off in a massive way. Natural gas followed, selling off in a big way, and oil was the last to go. So energy, daily lower low, not a lot of follow through, but I am bearish semiconductors and energy as long as daily downtrends remain. I am bullish biotech, healthcare, BABA, all these names as long as their daily higher lows remain that they just formed in the past few days, trying to shape up these daily bull flags. And which I focus on is dependent on the broader market. Am I looking short on SMH? Well, only if I see the S&P 500 showing me some red flags or showing me a loss of its hourly uptrend. Am I looking long on the biotech sector? Well, if the S&P 500 is looking for an hourly higher low, and the biotech sector is as well, I'm scouting the hourly higher low. So mostly day trading these setups, but I am swinging MSOS. And I think I'm done talking. So again, it's one notable day. Watch those correlation charts. If they're green again tomorrow, it's going to confirm this significant start to the week. All right. Have a good rest of your day. Do good things. We'll see you tomorrow.
Finally getting some sunflowers. This was a cultivated variety of dandelion, and it was left over from last year, and it grew really tall, and then one day of wind blew it over like this, and now it's just this cool shaped plant. You would never know that's a dandelion. Its flowers are purple. Zinnias are getting big. Something's eating some of these green bean plants. These are pretty high up. It might be I guess a deer could have come in here. I did see deer poop right out there outside the fence, and I think I left it open. But the plant will be fine. It'll still put on all these beans, and I got plenty more. So I can share.